What's your take on in this thread, just to branch off into something we didn't talk about last week? What is your take on the celebrations thing?
Oh, you don't even want me to talk about that?
I absolutely want to talk about that.
Well, I mean,
I 155,000% want to hear.
I will tell you right now. I didn't even read too deep into it.
Well, what's there to read into?
Yeah.
They're announcing they're doing basically sticking it next to the follow button, even underneath the video, for 50% cut on a tip. Well, you know what? Years ago, we joked that they'd be dumb enough to do this shit at some point, but we were like, nah, they would never get away with it. Nobody would fucking let that go. And in the year of our Lord 2020, here we are.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't know how this will get greenlit, because they're going to come out with this.
I have an idea.
People are going to lose their minds. All right, streamers are going to start losing their minds, and there's going to be some serious repercussions for some of this asinine thinking, because it's bad. It's real. Listen, Twitch, you have already successfully converted people into gifting subs, which in turns takes away from direct support. And you know what? I've come to appreciate it because it creates a sense of community. It creates a value for the viewer to give. I get it, and I can deal with that. And I've participated, and I have been. It's been a big part of my stream, and it's been great. Okay.
Just a question before you go any further. Do you know your percent split on what's on how many of your conversions are like real subs versus what's gifted at this point in an average month?
I can check on the back end. It'll tell me like how many are gifted and how many are tier 1, tier 2, tier 3.
Yeah.
But I have a very, like, I'm in the top 30 for gifted subs on Twitch.
Yeah.
As a channel. So I do very well in that department. Now, would I do as well if those were all donations? I would do better financially, but I'm not sure I'd actually get that much in donations. So there is value there. Twitch has found a way with the sub trains and the, enough bells and whistles that we were doing as content creators before them, and they've just found a way to penetrate that part of the market, and they've done it well. So I'm not disputing that. I've turned around. I've come around on the gifting of subs thing because I see the value. But with a huge but, going directly after donations and soliciting the extra money that a streamer would make from building a connection and building the rapport and putting in the work with a viewer, and them not only promoting a donation, but calling it a celebration and then putting it bam face there with another, purple button. That is like, it's almost like doing a good job and somebody coming around, you're given a donation, or and some people like to think of it as a tip, right? It's like somebody coming around and your boss and going, hey, give me half that. And then you ask yourself, well, what exactly did you do to earn that? Because I'm the one out here putting in these hours, and you're already making a large amount of money off me every month, not only from ad revenue, subscriptions, whatever other grand scheme of things, because it's not just what I do individually, it's also what we do as a community collectively, because Twitch is able to go out and get their own sponsorship deals and things from the backs of the content creators that are creating content. They're able to package these things up and, get bigger numbers or give bigger numbers to get bigger stuff, deals. My issue is they are coming over the top and trying to get in the face of the viewer to give to them before they give to me. And I think that's a problem. Especially when they're adding no real value. If you're going to call it a celebration and you're going to make little twinkles on the stream and you're going to shake my camera a little bit or something and say celebration, and so that is insulting, where you are going to have donation amounts already laid out like a little package for the viewer to click on and give, and have half of what they give go to Bezos and not the streamer. Now, if Twitch came and said, listen, if you put this thing on your page, we're going to go ahead and give you better CPM rates. We're going to give you a better split with subscriptions. We're going to do, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way for this to make financial sense for me to actually opt into this. And I don't even know if it's something that will be, you'll be able to opt in or opt out. I don't know if this is going to be, if you're a partner, you have the celebration thing on there. What happens if you're not a partner? Are you going to slap this on there? They don't have a sub button, but they have a celebrate button. Are you going to promote that instead of having 100% of the proceeds go to an aspiring streamer, someone that's trying to make a living, trying to get enough to get by, to do this as a full-time career? Are you going to start taking away from their earnings so that you can fatten your pockets? Is that where we're going with this? I don't know. Is it going to get to the point where Twitch says if you're a partner, there's no longer any third-party software, no Stream Elements, no Streamlabs, nothing. You want to no Patreon links, no third-party money-related things, no PayPal links. If you want to earn tips or donations, if you want to earn subscriptions, you have to do it all through us. And the only thing that they can say to the viewer to make him feel as though it's a good thing is that when you donate to Twitch, the streamer doesn't have to worry about a chargeback. I mean, that ship has sailed. Do people still fall for that stuff these days? I don't know. That ship has sailed.
I haven't heard a single person talk about a chargeback in our sphere in years.
That ship has sailed 5 years ago. That argument sailed a long time ago. So I don't know what Twitch can possibly say or do to convince people that donating to a streamer through celebrations is something that should be celebrated and done over direct support. Because if you're going to take 50%, say, for example, Jacob here in Twitch chat says, you know what? I really enjoyed this podcast. I don't feel like going to Patreon because I don't really deal with Patreon. I want to sign up and do all this other shit. I'm just going to donate Adam and Jeff $10. Do we really think that Jacob wants to give $5 of those dollars to Twitch and then have us split it and then me pay the tax? I mean, by the time it's all said and done here, I mean, shit, even if it was a 70-30 split, the answer is no. The PayPal fee is a little over 2%. And I can basically have access to that money when I need it. And if the odd chance there is a chargeback, which coming from somebody that gets a fair amount of donations, it's very rare. 1 in like 300. So, I could say a lot of things about this in a much nastier way. but I'm refraining from doing so because at the end of the day, I understand that donations is a very lucrative, a likely $1 billion ordeal on the streaming world, and the amount of money that comes in and out of the hands through Stream Elements, Streamlabs, through these third parties, through Direct, Patreon, PayPal, whatever, and they want to tap in on it. That's all that is. And they managed to tap into it in a semi-creative way with gifting of subs because they're already taking part of that. But they've added a bit of value and a sense of community, and it's gotten better. When it first came out, it was bad. But I'm trying to think what they could possibly do to make anybody want to do that. So I am hoping that if Twitch rolls this out, because sometimes they go shit in beta and then it just disappears. It's the same thing with this. We're just going to randomly put ads on your stream. Like, who in the right mind thought that that was a good idea? Who in the right mind thinks that advertising a celebration on top of the already gifting of subs is good to take away? We look at what Rhea said here is Twitch is shifting its responsibilities to artists, and it's saying that it wants to do better for its content creators. You want to take away money from us for your gain. And unless you're able to give us value for that, then why? You can't even make the argument that, well, if this celebration button wasn't there, you would get less donations. You can't even make that argument because I'm going to be frank, what Stream Elements and Streamlabs do is a way bigger money generator than whatever Twitch could offer. I'm able to customize the alerts, the sounds. I'm able to make custom sounds and alerts. I'm able to personalize things for viewers. I'm able to put in memes and other things that my community understands, and I add value to them so that they, when they give, they get an experience for giving. Twitch is going to shake my screen and put some fireworks up there? No, that ain't it. Let me run my stream and let me do me. Don't come into my pockets unless you got some sort of value to give. And from what I'm reading and seeing, there's no value add here. There's no value add. It's just value take. I want a piece of this. I want a piece of that. And it's only a matter of time. I'm telling you, if this gets rolled out, I am telling you, within a year period, Amazon is going to buy Stream Elements, Streamlabs, and any other thing, and they're going to own the market. And then everything is going to be cycled around them. They're going to buy them all out. And then that way, they're going to force essentially everyone to go in and use their third-party stuff, and they will ban things like Patreon and other things so that the money is staying in their ecosystem. I can see that happening. I am praying to the gods. I haven't even talked about the bits, but bits is basically donations. That's what bits is. The only good thing about bits is when people give bits and they can earn them by watching ads and stuff, which is also a value add. I like that. But the only good thing about bits is we don't lose a cut. The people buying the bits, they pay Twitch and then they can give the amount they want to give to us. The only bad thing about that is they could give more if they weren't giving Twitch 20 or 25% of whatever they donate. But now they want to just take 50%. It's basically, hey, bits ain't flying, bro. Bits ain't doing what we thought it was going to do. We ain't making enough money on bits. We need to celebrate. We need to celebrate. And I think that's what's that's where we're at. I hope to God they don't do that because it's not a good look. It's not a good look for their content creators at all. That's my point of view in a very nice way because I want to say some mean things, but I'm not gonna.
I will. Fuck them. This is the biggest slap in the face, even to have the idea. Not even to fully implement it, but even to beta this. Tells me everything I need to know about where Twitch is as a company in relation to how it operates with its streamers. Tells me everything I need to know. So fuck you. And fuck everyone that came up with that idea. Go fuck yourself. With the biggest cactus you can find. This is, without a doubt, the most aggressive, lazy, uninteresting idea anyone in the streaming business has ever had to take the biggest ratioed cut on the biggest ratio of revenue for a content creator since this industry began a little more than 10 years ago. And there's nothing that even comes remotely close. I see two different avenues for how this is going to roll out if it does make it past the greenlit stage.
I hope it don't.
This is how I see this. I see this as a possible bait and switch. Okay? They beta this at 50-50. They know people are going to talk about it. And they're going to fucking do what I'm doing right now and tell them to go fuck themselves with something that will literally tear the insides of them apart. They know that they don't really need 50% of tips coming through to make tens of millions of dollars a month. They know that. But if they came out and said they were doing this at a more reasonable 15%, people would still be as angry as they are about 50, and they'd have nowhere to go. But as it stands, they came out at 50, which is obviously ludicrous.
That's insanity.
But now if they're going to greenlight it, they're unlikely to greenlight it at 50. They'll greenlight it at like 20. Which sounds so much better than 50. It
does.
Which placates
a
lot of the people that were raging about 50. It's not perfect, but it's not 50. This is one of, like everything else Twitch does, laziest negotiation tactics that exists. It's up there with foot in the door.
This is the play. This is the play, Twitch. You really about your content creators? You really about that life? Come in and say, guys, we're going to add the celebrate button or call it a donate button. You know, don't try and spice it up to be something that it's not, because it sounds really bad when you've got a donate button on there and half of it's going to Twitch. It just sounds horrible, right? You know, you got to turn it into an experience so that they're paying for an experience. The play here is the big dick play. The I've got the content creators back play is, you know what, guys? We messed up. We messed up. We want to make it up to you. You know those chargebacks you are scared of? Or the off chance it does happen? We're going to add a personalized donate button on all of your pages. And we're just going to charge 5%. PayPal is 2.5% or 3%, depending on where you're at or whatever. We're going to charge 5%, but we're going to make it easy, simple, in your face. You know, paying that extra couple percent might be worth to have that donate button in front of people's eyes all the time. Your pays are the donations are going to go right on your paycheck. We're going to do all the processing, all that stuff. We're going to make it easy for you. So not only are they going to get a small percentage, they're going to now get, I mean, there ain't a lot of people that are going to use your third-party stuff. If they're only going to take 5, I know I'm yopping in. Take my little percent, because you're adding value now. You're adding something here. You're actually doing something for your community. If they can do that, if they came out and said we're going to take 5%, that's it.
You'd
You can
still
make
have to have a way to customize everything you do with, like we have with third party.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You
But even
couldn't
if
just
they
do. You couldn't just do that. People wouldn't go that route. Because if you're like, think of bits. The reason why this is happening, like you said, is because bits aren't being used as much as they wanted it to.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because there's not very many
no
easy
doubt.
ways to customize at bare minimum.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What I'm saying is,
I follow what you're saying. I agree.
if they want to add value,
Yeah.
then all you need to do is say, you know what, guys, we're going to jump in. We're going to add this. It's going to be great. Yeah, we're going to take a small extra cut because we got to do processing. We got bills to pay too. It's an organic and a good way to get in and take a small piece. And you're actually adding value to me, the streamer. Now I can promote your celebration stuff with confidence and say, you know what? Somebody just gave me $50. Twitch is going to grab their 5%, and the rest is going to go right into my paycheck, wired into my bank account, and then I can have that money next month, and everything is all great in the world. But instead, 50? 50, not 05.
Bro,
50.
they missed the boat on this by about half a fucking decade. If they came in and did this shit and bought out, let's say, back in the day, one of the third party Streamlabs or whatever, which was Stream Elements. They did that 5, 6, 7 years ago, which would have been a lot less money back then. And then did what you're talking about now and put the button directly on the page and still allowed people to customize on the back end. And really, what does that cost Twitch? In the grand scheme of things, nothing. They would have already bulldozed their way through tens of millions of dollars at this point with not a lot of effort, right? But now that they haven't done that, getting into it now is going to be orders of magnitude more expensive. It's going to be harder to convince the streamers to make use of it. And in a like nuclear possibility, I could honestly see, not Twitch necessarily, but this be an Amazon play. Amazon wants a Twitch ecosystem. They want everything within the Twitch ecosystem. And so they're going to put a clamp on what you can and cannot promote
100%.
While you are on Twitch.
Oh, 100%.
So this is like step one. They get this onto the page, but they still allow third-party options. Step two would be, now we're only going to allow Patreon as an option, but no more third-party tip or donation links. The nuclear option will be no more anything except what we provide you. And I could see all of that within the next 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
An idea like this doesn't even make the field unless they have a much more aggressive long-term plan. This is the genesis of something that is far bigger in their plan than anything else. With the ads, with this, the mid-roll ads, the forced pre-rolls, the bits, the gifted subs, all of these are like a long-term plan of a Twitch ecosystem to replace everything in a shittier way, but to make money more for Twitch than having it exist outside, which is obviously fine, and they are more than willing, more than legally within their rights to do that. It's just a massive waste and a shitty road to go down. This is not going to be dissimilar. Twitch is going to not be dissimilar to like the whole, like the Apple ecosystem thing that we were talking about in that lawsuit that Epic was trying to do with Apple. We are technically Epic right now, where we're making the case that Twitch is abusing their position to further deepen their cuts on the people that are on their platform, already giving them cuts in several other ways. And Apple is going to come out and say, or in Twitch's case, going to come out and say, well, you're using our platform, and this is what you have to agree to be here. If you don't like it, you can go to a competitor, and it will be full stop, and that's the show. That's where we're headed here, because Twitch is, like you mentioned before, not the Twitch, and like we've talked about many times before now, not the Twitch of 2011. Twitch is Amazon now, and Amazon is about profit maximization so Jeff Bezos can make another $120 billion in 6 months. That's what Twitch is becoming. And this is another indicator of the direction that they're taking in order to accomplish that goal.
Yeah,
So
it's all about how they proceed. It's all about, for one, can we opt in, opt out of this? That's huge, because you can make the argument, listen, if you can opt in or opt out, then it doesn't really matter, you know?
Let's put it this way. We used to be able to opt in and out of certain ad situations for a time. Do we have that option now?
No.
That's where this will also go.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with anything that you just said, because it all makes sense. And once again, I'm all about Twitch making money. I just need them to want to add value. You got to add value to a streamer. If you really want to wow us, you really want to take the headlines, you really want to do big things, you really want to make it up to people for how you're fucking up this DMCA stuff, come out and give us that donation button, but give it to us at 5%.
That doesn't but in their mind, that doesn't make the money, the money, and it takes effort. You're
gonna make a lot more money taking 5% of donations than what you ever will trying to take 50%.
Yeah,
because ain't very few people gonna be using that, because every streamer is gonna go, guys, don't you dare celebrate. Every time a celebration comes in, they're going to say, don't do that. Use my link in the description below, because you're taking, that's an extra 45%. No, 8% gone.
Here's the thing though. That's not going to make a difference. And let me tell you why. When bits first came out, everyone on Earth tried to convince the community to avoid using bits. They still use bits.
Yeah.
Then
but
gifted subs.
Nobody. But gifted. Yeah, I understand. Biddies. I don't hear anybody going, "Hey guys, hook a brother up with them biddies." You know what I mean? It isn't something that is really pushed by streamers. Hence, why the celebration button wants to come. You know, if it was uber successful, then it'd be a different story.
Then we get subscription gifting, right? Subscription gifting comes out, and while, like you said, you've grown accustomed to it and it's become part of your stream and your community, myself included, and many other people when it first hit, had to remind people that if it really depends on what level of support you're looking to give a streamer and what you're looking to get out of it. Because the average viewer that is tipping or sub-gifting, most of them just think the streamer is getting all of it regardless of how they do it. And
we are. For bits.
For bits, yes, but not for gifted subs. We're getting it at the rate that we would get otherwise.
Yes. Well, I don't think people. I don't know. I don't think the masses.
Because even. But even if that's the case, that even proves their point all the same, is that they know then, if the viewers do know that the streamer is not getting 100% of the money that they're putting in, that they know the viewer doesn't care on average, to a point where they can put out a system like this and have a big cut of 20%, 25%, and people will use it because it's convenient and there. And it's part of the Twitch ecosystem. They don't have to click away from the page to go do the shit.
Yeah.
People will do it. And it doesn't matter how much as a streamer you tell them. I could tell my community who is one of the most, ratio, greatest fucking giving communities on earth, yours the same. And you could tell them, hey guys, if you are looking to support me specifically, and you want me to get the maximum benefit, I still get people asking me, what's better, a gifted sub or a direct donation? I got like 5 of those questions in the last 7 days.
Yeah, I get them
that
all the
tells
time.
you that people don't know.
Yeah.
And they go ahead with the gifted subs. But the reality is, if you give me $5 and it's going through a tip, I'm getting $4.96.
Yeah. The only way that it's better is the what I always tell people is this, is if you've got, you know, money to give, gifting subs is great as long as, and it's usually because there's a percentage. If you gift one sub and then that other person pays it forward, they got that pay it forward thing, or they resubscribe after they get started, because sometimes people just need a little push. You know, once somebody
I would say my
gifted,
conversion on that is under 3%.
I honestly would say mine's probably between 8 and 10% right now. I would say, which is pretty good. Some months are better than others. But I'm also part of a community, like the RP community is very been trained to be subbed. You know, the RP community is the sub to the view count ratio is very, very high. It's higher than most most sort of things,
because they're watching for like 8 hours at a time.
Exactly. Yeah. So you know, I guess we're a little bit of an anomaly because, you know, I'm speaking on mine, but you know, a channel like yours where you've got your diehard fans, you know, I would be far likely to convert a first-time viewer into a sub than what you would. When they first come in.
Yeah.
And it's just the nature of the
nature
beast,
of RP.
It's the nature of RP, and you're in front of so many people, and they've seen your character in many different scenarios.
You're part of somebody else's show that they're also likely sub to, and it just feeds off of itself, because it's like watching a TV show spread across like 5 different feeds.
It's like a spin-off show. You know what I mean?
So it kind of feeds into itself.
Exactly. So we're a bit of an anomaly in that point. But what I'm saying is why I think the gifting of subs is value is because when a viewer, and they're not all like this, but the majority of them are, but say even 8%, 5%, resubscribe after getting gifted once or pay it forward, that one gifted sub is worth more than the initial $5 donation, if that makes sense. So like if somebody were to say, I've got $5 to spend, should I gift the sub or should I give $5? I always would say gift the sub, because you're giving another person an experience and you're adding to the community. You're giving back to the community. I still get some money. Like, I'm not no greedy pig. Like, I don't need every fucking cent. You know what I mean? I'm still getting paid. But then there's the off chance that person will resub or that person will gift a sub, which in turn will be more than that initial $5. So, you know, that's what I would say. But when it comes to the bits, when it comes to the celebrations, then yes. Or if people just don't want to give money to Twitch at all, then of course, just donate. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not going to complain when somebody gives money, period. I'm just not going to complain.
No, it's just that
I actually will complain.
Yeah.
If somebody's celebrating and it's starting, like, I do never, ever want to see a celebration train going. You know what I mean? Because every time someone drops $100, 50 of it's going to Twitch. That's a no for me. That's a no. Unless they come up with some sort of system where we're getting like, hey, if so many celebrations come in, your sub ratio goes up. Your split. If you reach a certain bar of celebrations in a month, it unlocks you to earn more per sub, or puts you in an elite category for CPM rates, or you get a certain sponsorship. I don't know.
None of that would ever pay off better than just getting.
I don't think so either.
No.
I don't think so either. But once again, I don't know. I'm just shooting the shit off top of my head. I'm just going with it. But the way it stands now, I think everybody on Twitch, every single streamer, all of them will agree taking 50% is a no-no. You want to do 5%? Bro, you're going to win over so many fucking streamers. It ain't even funny.
If you also still make it like customized, like you still like the integral thing here is that if you're going to try and replace it at all, you have to at least bare minimum meet the standard that everyone else is already using, or you're not going to win support.
I agree. But I think if they wanted to get this out and they implemented it and they still made it so that you could use third party, I think you win over everybody. And you can opt in, opt out. You win over everybody at 5%. At 10%, you still make a small case. If at 10% you can add some extra value that Stream Elements and Streamlabs cannot do, you win everybody over. Anything above that, no, you don't. And you're going to make so many millions of dollars, tens and hundreds of millions of dollars a year, that and everybody's going to be singing to the tune of like Celebration Train, baby, let's go. And look at the way that streamers promote gifted subs and Twitch Prime. They need to do that with donations, but give it back to the streamer. Add value. Everybody wins. But if you're going to come in and you're going to say, I'm going to take 50% of that and we're going to do it a lot worse than the third parties, nobody's going to like that. And that's just facts. So I think you're right. They're going to come out and they're going to say, yeah, 50 was too high. Maybe it's 70-30. Maybe it's 80-20. You know, they're going to come up with something, or maybe the Twitch gods will listen and they'll say, you know what? If we aren't prepared to actually give extreme value, we need to go and rethink this, and we'll revisit this in another year, 2 years. And maybe the industry has changed enough, or maybe they've bought out Stream Elements, or, you know, if they want to go spend some money, go buy out Stream Elements, go buy out Streamlabs, buy them out. And then work in your ecosystem there. Why not? I don't know. It seems, I'm sure they'd get them relatively cheap.
I mean, look, Twitch hasn't made any particularly smart moves in a long time. So it does not shock me then that this would be the case. I mean, their acquisitions they've made in the past have turned into nothing. I mean, the Twitch app on the desktop is a fucking joke. Like why
that was like Cursed Voice. I think.
Right?
Like
why they even went that route is like beyond me. I can't even when the most obvious buy is literally just taking out like Streamlabs or some shit and calling it a fucking day. And if they did that years and years and years ago, way cheaper. Now they're forking over big fucking money.
Oh, huge money.
Big fucking money to make that happen.
Huge
bigger
money,
than they're probably going to ever spend. Because to them, again, I cannot stress this enough. If there's one thing that Twitch is at least intelligent enough to understand, it's that for the majority of viewers, they aren't going to think about the cuts. They're not going to think about any of that shit.
Man, that blows my mind.
They know that that's the case. If you look at how much money, I'll use me as an example again, and I'm not everyone, but I would say that I probably am representative of the majority of people on the platform. The amount of money that I have made on Twitch since gifted subs has become a thing is down about 25 to 30%. Because of how much converted Twitch gifted subs moved away from direct tips. I've lost 25 to 30% of my income on a year.
Makes sense. It makes sense. And if you don't have a large audience, then that snowball and that hype effect and the
like you need to be, and even then, like outside of the RP community, it's just that the organic effect. If you went and looked at the numbers, the conversions for people re-upping on subs and shit is minuscule. It's tiny. It's really tiny. I've got one dude on my stream. I've got a couple people that gift lots, but the one that comes to mind, Sarcasm Kid, who is 670 some gifted subs at this point. Every time I'm streaming, if there's a single person that says one thing in chat and they're not a sub, all of a sudden they're a sub. And of 670 plus subs, off the top of my head, I can think of like 4 that have actually converted to keeping their own sub. There are people that Sarcasm has floated in the community long enough that they have 6-month badges. And they never spent $1. So they know Twitch is a company that they can do this, and really the people that are going to get upset with them and make up the big stink are the streamers to them and on social media. But there are tons of people that aren't so interactive on social media looking at everything a streamer says on there complaining about that shit. They're just watching shit on Twitch. We're talking tens of millions of people. And on that volume of them not knowing and they just get involved and they're not thinking about it,
Yeah.
they're just going to do it.
Yeah.
And so if you're Twitch and you're playing the fucking percentages there, who fucking cares? They just take it. Their only downside to that specifically would be if eventually people legitimately leave the platform for another platform because of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'll be fucking honest with you, if they come out with this at 50% and they're not making it opt-in after like the first 6 months or some shit, they just say, all right, everyone gets it now if you're a partner or if you're an affiliate.
As long as they have an opt-in, opt-out button, they can do.
There will be people
Whatever the hell they want.
that will start to strongly consider their position on the platform.
Those Facebook offers are gonna look better and better and better.
That YouTube where Doc has been making more money there than he ever did on Twitch is going to look better and better and better. And the moment you get more bigger, mid-tier and upper streamers moving over, the more that will convince smaller streamers that even though it should be the reverse logic where they'd be better going over before the big streamers, it will convince them to do the same.
Yeah.
And this, of all the features they've ever come out with that would push people away from the platform, this would be number one.
Yeah, I mean, if they come in and put a celebrate button on everybody's thing and say you're forced to do this and we're taking 50%, ooh, man, it'll be a 3-hour podcast just on that. Let's put it that way. And there'll be tons of streamers back on Twitter, on Twitch, on everywhere, just blasting these guys. I mean, blasting. It'll be
fucking Ragnarok, bro.
Yeah.